the outer ring of this hexagon. And for the outer ring, it's a little more complex than the first one. First off, we have two colors here. So we've got a light blue and dark blue, which I'm going to use a dark green and a light green. I'm going to substitute gold for the silver. I'm going to use some red crystals. But we have to be aware of not only the corners, but we also have to be aware of the center points where we're going to put the crystals. So these lighter green beads are going to serve as a marker. So when we're doing this pattern, we know when we're going to have to shift to the lighter beads. I'm going to start by putting on a stop bead. Now I'm using the size 12 needle. The 12 needle is important in this step because we're going to go through these lighter green beads a number of times. So you need a smaller needle. I'm still using 8-pound Fireline. That will work, but if you prefer, you can also use number 6. 6-pound will work as well. So I want to start by picking up 4 of our main bead colors, 1 accent, 4 main colors again, and 1 corner. So each set is going to have 4 dark beads, a light green, 4 dark, and another, and a corner, and a gold. We have to repeat that 5 more times for a total of 6. The easiest way to double check this once you've got them on is to split them up in groups. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups, and we got the gold beads in the way here, but we have a gold with the 4 dark green, a light green, and the dark. And just check to make sure you've got the pattern 4, 1, 4, 1 gold, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. Because if it's not correct, you'll be doing a lot of work that you'll have to undo. All right, so we're going to bring this down, and we're going to go through all of the green beads until we get to the gold bead. So just like we did with the red center, if you were doing the red center with me, we go through the green beads and come out between the last green bead and the gold. And we're going to make a circle. Now we're going to add 2 gold beads. And we'll go into the green bead, so on the other side of the single gold. So you'll have your single gold bead. There we go. And the 2 gold on top of that. Now we're going to add 2 green ones here and then another dark green. So we're going to add a dark green and a dark green. And we'll be coming out the light green bead. We'll go all the way around with only dark green for this row where the green are, and then adding 2 of the gold beads. So we want to add a green, dark green, and a dark green. I add 2 gold above the gold one that's sitting here. Go through the next dark green. And we're going to continue this all the way around. So when you're finished, your sections should look like this. Now our last green bead is going in right here before the gold one. So I'm going to put that green in, and we want to step up by going through a single gold bead, not both, just 1. So we have to put it in, we have to go through 2 beads. We go through the green one, we go through this green one, and then we step up with the gold. Now the next row, we're going to put a gold one between the two golds. So we pick up a gold and put a gold one through. Now I'm working with the same amount of Fireline I was working with when I did the red one, the red piece, and I'll have to add more thread at a certain point, but I don't like to work with a lot of Fireline, very long strands, because not only does it get knotted and tangled, but it also starts to, the thread starts to separate, so it starts to get worse. Now we're at the green bead, and we're going to add another green bead. So we add one light green bead, and then we're going to continue with the dark green. And the next time round, we'll start making our V so that we can put our little crystal in. So it's going to be 2 green, 2 dark green, a light green, and 2 dark green. And now we add the gold in between. We've just added our last, we're going to add our last gold bead. So we'll go through the gold. And this is our tail that we're going to get rid of. So we go through the gold, adding our last gold bead. Now we've got to add another row of green on this side, so we need 2 dark green. One light green. And another 2 dark green. 1. Now here's our step up right here. Our second green that we're going to put on is going to go into this gold bead, not the first top one, but the second one down. That completes the row, and then we're going to go through the single bead to step up. So when you're finished, your piece should look like this. You should have a single, a double, a single on the gold rows, and then you should have the 2 light rows, the 2 light beads together in the center. Now I want to get rid of this tail thread at this point. Our next row is going to be all green. We're not going to be using the gold. Now, as I said in my other video, if you need, pick out 6 gold beads to use them as counters. So I have 6 beads to use as a counter, so I know where my rows are, and I know when I'm going to be coming close to that step up. But we are going to start making the V shape here in the green beads. So the first thing I want to do is pick up 1 green. Okay, now we're going to pick up a second green, dark green. Second dark green. Now we pick up a light green and go through the light green. Light goes through light. Pick up another one, light, and pick up another light and go through the dark. So we're starting to make that little V pattern that we can put the crystal in. And we do 2 more green beads and go through the top of the top gold one. So that's why we're not putting any gold ones on. We're going to go through the top gold one, and then we need 2 more greens, so we need a green on the other side, and then we'll do dark green. Now we need a light green to go through the light green, and a light green on the other side. These are the spots that you'll forget. Usually it's the second light green. You'll see the first one coming up, and that's not a problem. But then you'll forget to put the second one in, because I've made many bracelets with this same pattern, and that's where I always mess up, is coming out of this light green or coming out of that different color and not picking up that same color. Now I've come all the way around. I've got a green bead on either side of the gold beads. with the exception of this, we have to add a green bead right here. So we're going to pick up a green bead. It's going to go through the gold, single gold, and our step up is the green bead right next to it. So we have to go through the gold and the green bead right next to it. Now we're going to have to add another double gold, and we're going to continue with expanding this little V. So we're going to add a green bead, a dark green bead. Then we're going to take a light green, and we're not going to do a regular peyote stitch. We're going to take that light green and go down to the light green below it, where it starts to form the V here. I've got my finger over the second one. You don't want to go all the way to the bottom. You want to go to the one on top of the last one, like this, and pull that in, make sure it's in line, and then come up the next green bead, and now we're going to add another light green. Come up the light green, we add another light green, and then we're going to add a dark green, and we're going to add 2 gold and go over the single gold into the dark green. Here's our step up. We have to put the 2 gold on. We know we don't need any more green here, but so my step up is somewhere in here, and I can see that I have to go through this green, this dark green, and then come up the next dark green. And that completes the whole row. Now our next row is going to be a single, we're going to put a single bead on top, but we're going to have to add yet another dark green. So we're going to add a light green, I'm sorry. We're going to add a light green on either side. So the first thing we do is we do a light green, and we have to come down now 3 beads, not 2, but 3 beads, all 3. And now we have to come back up 2. Okay, there. I got the thread caught under my thumb. We come up 2. And now we still need to add a light green and a dark green. 1 gold between the 2 golds, 1 dark green, a light green, and go down 3. Come up 2. Add another green, light green, dark green, gold, I'm about to add my last gold bead. So I'm going to pick up the gold bead and put it in between the two gold. Add my last gold bead. Now I need to add one more dark green one right here. So we're going to add our dark green one, but we don't have to step up. We're not going to step up because we're going to come down and start working the other side. So the way we come down to work the other side is you want to end up in one of these green beads. So we're going to go diagonally down. We'll pick a bead and start moving diagonally down. And I'm doing these one at a time because I want to be careful. I want to pick up the right bead, and I also don't want to break one of them. Now I like to work, here's a little trick. If you want to keep working in the same direction you're used to, whether that's going to be up or down, If I were to go through the next bead, I'm going to have to be working awkwardly on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse direction here. So I'm going to go through the bead next to the one I'm coming out of. All right, so I've gone through the one. If I turn this piece over and I bring my needle up through here, I can start working in the same direction. I like to do counterclockwise going up as I had been. I don't have to change my direction. I don't have to be awkward. So at this point, we're going to do a row of green all the way around. And when I say a row of green, I mean a light green bead when you come opposite the light green. So everything will be dark green except for the one light green bead. So if we pick this up and start, we start with the dark green and continue through the gold bead in the corner with dark green and another dark and another dark, and now pick up a light green because you want to go over. You want a light green bead sitting on top of the light green bead. So when you come around this way, your light green bead is going to sit on top of your light green. So you're doing all dark green beads until you get to that light green. So we've come up to our last gold bead. So I'm coming out of the gold bead right now. I put the green on. I need to put another dark green. So I'm putting on a dark green. I need another dark green. And I need a light green. And the light green happens to be right where the step up is. So we're going to go through the dark green on the other side of the light green that's there. Let's see if I can show it to you. There's a light green, so we need to go through this dark green right here. And we're going to go up through the dark green bead above it, like that. And if you can't do it with one, do it using two passes. So through the dark green, and we have to put on, so this is a light green bead that goes on, and it goes through the dark green next to it and step up. Now this row, we're going to put on 2 gold, and we're going to start our green V. So let's start by putting in our dark green. Now gold goes over gold, so we need to pick up 2 gold and go into the next green one. You pick up the 2 gold going into the next green, and we need dark green, and the next one we need is light green. So like we had done on the other side, you're going to pick up a light green bead and go through the light green bead, and you're going to pick up another light green bead and go through the dark green on the other side. Then we do 1 dark green, and 2 gold. We've added our last double gold, last set of 2, and we're going to have to add a few more green beads. So we're going to pick up a dark green and 2 light ones, and then we'll go to our step up. So we'll pick up the dark green, and we need 2 light, and this one goes into the dark, and then we're going to step up. So if you can do it in 1, I'm going to do it in 2 so you can see. So we go through the first dark green bead, which is this one, and then we step up to the next dark green. The next row is going to be adding a single bead between the two. So we start by adding one green bead, dark green, one gold between the two gold beads that are there, a dark green, and now we're expanding this V, so we're going to pick up a light green like we did on the other side, and we're going to go down 2, and then turn around and come back up 1, pick up another light green, go through the dark green, there, I was slipping through both, 2 greens. All right, 1 green, 1 dark green. We're going to add a dark green, and go through 1 gold, pick up a gold, and go through the second gold. And we're going to do that all the way around, and when you've added your last single gold bead, we'll stop and we'll look for the step up. I'm about to add my last gold bead, so I'm going to pick up the gold bead and put it between the 2 gold beads on the corner, coming out of one, going into the other. Now I need to finish this row, so I'm going to need to add a couple of light green. My step up is right here, so let's start with 1 dark green, a light green. We're going to go down 2, and we'll come back up 1, add another light green, and we're going to go right into the green, try and tilt it, the green bead here, and up through the one on the top. So if I turn it around, we're going through this green and then the one on the top. So that's my step up. Now I don't have enough thread to go and make another round, so another row. So we're going to change threads, and I'm just going to pull the needle out and let the thread sit right here. And we've got our new thread in, and I'm going to just cut the tail of the new thread. This row is going to be all green, so if you need your counter beads, you can bring out your counter beads to add that. So we start by adding, it's going to be all green, either dark green or light green when we come around. So we're going to add a dark green and another dark green. And now we need to add a light green, and we're going to go down all 3 of the light green beads. And then we want to come up the 2. So the 2 remaining beads we come up. Get this tail out of the way. And we add another green bead. We add the light green bead. Now we're going to do another dark. And another dark. And now we're going to go back and add the light green beads again. Go down the V and come back up. And when you've gone all the way around, and then stop when you come through this gold one. And we'll add this final set and step up. Now I've just added my last light green bead on this side. I have my dark green beads on either side of the gold one, So my step up is right here where this dark green, these two dark green beads are, and right where the old thread is exiting. So I'm going to go through this lower bead, and I'm going to do it in 2 steps because I didn't want to twist. So we go through the lower bead where our thread is exiting, and then we're going to step up to the one above it. Now at this point we can get rid of this other tail thread. All right, this is the last row. So for the last row, we're going to take and do 2 gold beads over the single. So we'll go through and do 2 gold into the dark. Now, I don't want to have this green come all the way up to the very edge. So we're going to use the dark green, and we'll still go down all of the light green beads. And this is the last time we'll be doing this. We'll go down all of the beads, and then we're going to turn around and come back up. And I'm going to add a dark green bead. And now we add the 2 gold. And continue all the way around until you've come around to where you started. And then we'll start closing it up. We've got to add our last 2 gold beads over the single gold. So we're coming out of the green, going into the dark green. And we have to add 1 more dark green. And add 1 final dark green bead, and then step up through the single gold. So we're going through the green and then the first of the 2 golds, and that completes the full row. Now we're going to start to close up and put our crystals on. So we're going to zip this up like we did the last one, and we're going to alternate between the one side and the other. So we start by going over to the other gold, and we'll go to this gold, and then we pick up a green on the other side and a green on dark green, and over to the other side now and pick up a light green. Now, here's where we're going to put our crystals on. Well, we'll need to add 1 more light green. In fact, just give me a minute. I'm going to get rid of these dark green beads, and we'll get rid of the gold ones. We'll brush them aside because the only ones we're going to use now are the light green. So we're going to pick up a light green and a red and a light green. I'm going to go over to the last green on the same side. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go into the first green on the other side. And I want to pick up, I'm going to swing this around so you can see it better. I'm going to pick up the green bead I just put on, the crystal, and the other green bead, and go back through. And now I need to pick up, from here I need to go to the other side, this side we were just on a minute ago. I want to go to this side in the same the direction we're currently going. And only go through the green bead. There we go. Trying to position so you can see. Okay, so we go through that green bead. And now we come back through the one next to it, and we're going to go back through the green, the crystal, and the green. And I want to come out of this side because I want to come out of this dark green bead. So when I come out of all of the crystal and the light green, I want to go into that dark green bead. And then I'm going to go over to the other side where the dark green bead is. And then I'll pick up single gold, the top bead on the other side, and the other gold. I'm going to pull them through. So this is what your finished side should look like. And I wanted to leave them with the little red like that because to me that looks like it's got little red berries. And we have gold accents on the corners. So let's do another one. We go over to the other side and go through the dark green, and then go through the other side and go through the dark green, and then go through the first light green on the other side. Pick up a light green, a red, and a light green. Go to the last light green on the same side. Turn around and go through the green, the first light green. Oh, there you go. You can see it better. The first light green on the other side. Then I'm going to have to turn this around in order to get, so we go through the green, the crystal, and the green bead that we just put on. Now we want to go through, we've got to connect, we're connected on this side, so we have to connect the bead on this side. So we're going to go through the last green bead on that side. Then we swing around and go back through the one that we started with, the first one. And we need to go through the bead, the crystal, and the bead one more time. I'm catching the dark green ones as I put the needle through. There we go. We don't want to catch any extras. And you want to exit left to the light green, exit into the last light green, and up the next dark green bead. And that'll give you a nice finished, you don't see any thread. And then we go up to the next dark green on the other side. You always have to alternate sides, with the exception of putting on these beads where you stay on the same side for the first one. And every other one, when you're closing this, you're going back and forth and alternating sides. And just continue around, and when you get to the other side, we'll stop and then go to the next video.